Welcome to Woman Talk, where we keep it real, real. My name is Tara. Please join me and my girls, Dee Dee and Promesta, as we have difficult and informative conversations. Our goal is to uplift and encourage you. Please go with us on this journey.
um, Monica, when you were in there, when you were, what'd you say? I think you said you had 30 days in the hole. Or
No,
how many?
I had 6 months in the home.
Oh,
yeah, I had
wow.
beat
So
her up. Yeah, I beat her up pretty bad. I'm not gonna even lie. Like I
so
was
what,
kind of.
how did you, what,
So for me, I would read the word of God, but I'm gonna just say this. At the time, before I even got in there, my life was in disarray. Okay, I have to go back this far just to explain this part. I was in disarray. I had met a guy and he was a pretty dangerous person. I didn't know how to get away from him. So I was even suffering some abuse outside of that, where he was, this guy he was crazy, but I didn't know how crazy he was. And so I just believe even coming to prison saved my life from him. While I was in prison, this guy, he passed away. He had a shootout with the police. This is how crazy he was. I'm just saying. I didn't realize that. So now I'm gonna move fast forward. So for me being inside, the very moment, I'm gonna say the very moment, I'm talking about literally the first day, I believe God was already hunting me down, chasing me, wooing me into the kingdom of God, which I knew who God was, but me and my wild self, I just wasn't ready for that. I want to hang out, I want to party. I'm being very matter of factly. And I just wasn't ready for that. I mean, I remember when I was going to church at that time, I did just the same thing. I wanted, because the Lord it was just like, he was literally chasing me down through people. And I would always get a word from the Lord, from somebody. And I'm like, I'm saying, God, what do you want? What do you want from me? What? Like literally, I'm having this conversation with God. And the lady, when I got locked up, I went to church, and a lady, she prophesied to me. And she prophesied that I wouldn't do all the time that I was supposed to do. So I was supposed to do 5, and I got out in 3.5. That prophecy came to pass, and the Lord was literally wanting me for kingdom use.
Come on, sis. And
was so in a place where, I mean, when I tell you, when I got out, I was so irritated, because every time I turn around, it was a lady who bumped into me. I'm like, why is she doing all that? I'm sitting right, I'm just me, my mind, she's doing all this stuff and bumping into me, and she cutting in front of me and stuff. And I'm like, excuse me, like I'm doing all of this crazy stuff. And the lady was like, you know what? She said, I kept asking the Lord, who is it that you want me to talk to? So she's so in tune with the Lord. And it was me. I said, oh God, here we go again. Like, what now? Like literally, I was doing this. I'm serious. And so the Lord just kept saying, it's time, it's time. This is one thing I did know. Had I not gave my life to Christ, it was almost as if God was just chasing me down, giving me word after word after word after word. And I'm steady trying to do what I want to do. But it came to a point, the Lord said, you're going to serve me or you're going to die. That was the end of that story. When he said that, I gave my life to Christ. I was dealing with a guy, he was a drug dealer. I had got out of prison. He was a drug dealer. I'm like, you know what? Listen, you doing something, don't tell me nothing. Don't tell me what you doing, how you doing. Don't, none of that. We can date, but don't tell me none of that stuff. Because if they come looking for me, I don't want to know nothing. This was my mindset. Like, that's a crazy mindset to have. Yeah. I got kids at home. Like, what was I thinking? You know?
But we know what you was thinking, because we was all, some of us thinking.
I was thinking these ducats, the money. Yeah. But I wanted the benefits, but I didn't want to have nothing to do with the rest of it.
Come on.
But I was just like, But I had to really think about my life, and I said, when I gave my life to Christ this time, I literally, when I prayed, I said, Lord, I love you and I want to serve you. And I did, and I still do, and I still do. And I told the Lord, this is my absolute prayer to the Lord. Like, I'm having a conversation with you. I said, Lord, I love you. I want to serve you with my whole heart. I want to give you everything that I have. But I'm telling you, if this man come to me and say, I want to lay down and have sex with you, I'm going to do it. This is what I'm telling the Lord. I said, because I love him. I like him. I said, but I need this to go away, because there was so much incongruence on the inside of me about this relationship, but I didn't know how to tear myself apart without the emotional part being there. That's what I wanted. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I wanted, but that's not what happened, because I had already paid a price in this relationship. And so naturally my feelings was going to be hurt, but I had to sit there and I had to endure that, because what I needed most and what I wanted most was God. That was my determining factor. Like, do I deal with this mess that I'm in, and I love this man and I want to be with him and I know he can offer me what I need, or do I trust God and I go with God and I love God and I let him, tread out my path? And I of course I chose God. And doing that, and my trust in God, I have trust issues. I've had trust issues for years, just based on my past hurt, pains, and all of those things that I had to come up through. That's another whole story.
And that's what I'm hoping that we can come back and do a part 2, because it started off with you guys being incarcerated, but there's a life that you lived even before you did whatever you did to get incarcerated. And I would love for us to have time to dig into that. But quick, before we have to go, because I know Moni had to run too. Yeah. Please tell us some of the good things that you guys have been blessed to do after your release from prison.
Okay, I'm gonna start because I do have to go. So after I got out of prison, I gathered all my kids together. It took a minute for me to get them, but I got my kids back. I wanted my kids back, and I began the healing process. I did that on my own. I didn't need nobody to tell me, this is what you need to do. This is how you got to do it. All I know in my heart, I'm a mom. I love my kids with every fiber of my being. And I was getting my kids back no matter what. Come hell, high water, the dam break, whatever. I'm getting my kids back. That was me. So I gathered all my kids back. I got an apartment. I was able to successfully, secure an apartment, which was hard because of my record, and then, I had the money because I'm a hairstylist, and I was a household name. No matter what, I went to prison for them 3.5 years, got out, and people still was like, we still want you to do our hair. But at the time I lived in Detroit, that's where my daughter was at. I got her. I got my youngest daughter from my mom and my son. I got him for a minute, but I let him stay because, he was just kind of attached, and he was good to my son. She was good to my son. So, but I was there though. I still was there, a very present mom. Not once a week, not twice a week. I was there every single day. He got out of school. Me and my 2 girls over that house. Me and my 2 girls. I'm constantly giving her money and clothes. So I was a very active parent with my son. So it wasn't like I kind of missed out on it, but just those years. And so we began the healing process of that. And it took some time. It took a lot of time because I was very truthful to them as well from the very beginning. And my middle daughter, she didn't understand a lot of things. And her reality is that I left her with my sick mom. Like, you left me with that lady and she's this, and that. But the reality is that is not what happened. And I had to, even as she got older, I had to retell that story to her because she didn't have the understanding. All she knows is she was being hurt by my mom and didn't understand. And so we got through that process. And today we are good. I was able to go back to school. I went and got my master's. I actually went and got my bachelor's, and then I got my master's. I went back. So today I'm a mental health therapist of 10 years. I have a husband now. He's a man of God. He's a pastor. I'm a co-pastor now. I have my license. I have my license, my minister's license. I'm sorry. So what I was trying to say. And I'm doing very well. My kids are doing good. They're working and, being successful. And so I'm just really excited where God, and they need some work, but we all do, So I'm just excited where God brought me from. And it's still a work in progress, but now from me being ministered to, I'm ministering to people. So it's a great exchange. And I'm so excited because I am writing a book about that, because I just believe that the things that I went through and the struggles that I've gone through, that it will help somebody. And I wanted to mention this too. My probation officer, I had a probation officer, and I had 2 probation officers, as a matter of fact. And one of them was the one who would do all the investigation, trying to find out if you're doing stuff wrong in the streets, I never knew they did this, but I found out they did this is one day they came to my house, and my house was so exceptionally superb because I keep a really clean house. And they was like, this is amazing. She said, your house is immaculate. She said, and, I was doing everything that I was supposed to do. I would go see her. I would turn in all my, they want to know your income. They want to know everything down to your dirty drawers. And so I was following the protocol. The police had stopped me and wanted to ask me some questions. Now I went to my probation officer, and because we're not supposed to have police contact. And I said, this police officer came to me and asked me about X, Y, and Z. Guess what? They already knew that. And my probation officer told me, had I not told them that, I would have been back in prison. Just by simply not telling them, because there's no police contact. And because of that, I was shaking in my boots to have to tell them. I'm just blessed that, I wasn't doing nothing wrong, but I did tell them about this, and say, yeah, if you hadn't told me, you would have been back in prison, because you're not supposed to have police contact. But because you were honest with me, it's okay. We're not recording this, and we're not going to put this down. And that was the favor of God. That wasn't him, because the Bible talks about God turning the hearts of men the way he wants them to be turned. And so because of that, that wasn't my luck. That wasn't none of that. That was God's favor. Because he still could have put me in prison, even though I told him that, because that's a rule and that's a violation. And so they were so impressed with my life, because this was the life I lived before. I didn't live a ratchet life. It was just, I did this for the sake of trying to take care of my family. And so because of that,
you keep saying this. What's the this?
When I went out and I committed crime, I was
I'm just saying, because
so when I went out,
because I don't want it to be confused. I did this, meaning that this could have been going to prison, or this my friend, y'all. We talk like
I committed the crime, and so I paid the time for that. And so because of that, I came out. I just did what I had to do. I wanted a better life for my kids. I knew that there's a better quality of life, and I wanted those things. And so I did that. I did that with my mind made up to do that. Right. And because of that, God blessed me and flourished me into, I'm in a home, I have a house, I have a new car. I mean, I'm doing good. I could be doing better, but I'm just blessed where I'm at today and where God is continuously elevating me. So that's fine.
And all right. Well, that sounds like really good, and congratulations for how things are going.
Yes.
Thank you. And then it's good to listen to what God has to say to you. I know we run from it sometimes. I do myself, but it's good when you listen. When you listen, that's when things happen.
So I love you. You know that.
I love
100.
You. Yes.
And I'm so happy because Monika she's not bashful, but sometimes she's just like, I'm beyond that. And so just her coming on and sharing, I'm thankful. Thank you so much for sharing. And, we'll let you know. I really do want to do that pre-prison talk one day soon. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. See you guys later.
Take care.
Nice to meet you, Monika. I hope we can connect. I think there's something there. I think there's something there.
we would just like to invite you in on our podcast where we're going to talk about some things. So get your tissues ready. It's going to be deep, but it's going to be real. So we invite you to just sit in with us and share our experiences, share your experiences with us, and we'll share ours with you.